Coming to you live from the rinks in Hauppauge, you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan alongside my producer Magnus Healy and our cameraman Wally Mitchell, taking you through the second of three here on the South Rink on this chilly Wednesday evening in November. Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red come into this matchup in first place in the JV division with a stellar 8-1 record. Their only loss of the season came at the very start of the season, in which they fell 3-2 against St. Anthony JV Black. That rivalry renewing itself in the varsity level just a couple of days ago. And St. Anthony getting the win, handing Smithtown Hauppauge varsity their first loss of the season in regulation. Meanwhile, back to the JV Red squad. They have not lost, as I mentioned, since that first game of the year. 8 straight victories, including most recently a 3-0 shutout victory against St. Anthony JV Gold. And so both Smithtown and St. A's splitting their JV teams in half and still finding tremendous success. As I look over to the standings as a whole in the JV division, as I mentioned, it's topped by Smithtown JV Red. That one loss, by the way, to St. A's came in overtime, so they have not lost in regulation time. They look to keep that going against Connetquot Sayville, who currently occupy the final spot if the playoffs were to have started today at a 4-5 record with 8 points. Sachem right behind them with 6 and a 3-6 record. Connetquot Sayville, they've had a roller coaster of a season. Losing by 13 to Longwood to open the campaign. Coming back against, then the very next week, 8-5 win against West Islip. Another loss by double digits, this time to St. A JV Black. Followed by an 8-goal loss to East Islip. Follow that up with an impressive 7-4 win against Sachem. 5-4 win against KPC. Narrowly losing to the other Smithtown Hauppauge team, that being JV Blue, 7-6. And most recently, a 4-3 victory against Northport, who, while Northport's record are 1-7-1 now on the year, they are much better than that record, in my humble opinion. And so that sets the stage in terms of where the teams are at. Let's go individual players now. And leading the way for this Smithtown JV Red squad is a large group of players. 5 players have double-digit points to start the year. Those players being Connor Critkow, twin brother Christian, Caden Dorian, Joseph Pasarina, and Ryan Anderson. And Ryan Anderson and Pasarina leading the way in terms of points, each with 12. Pasarina leads the Bulls in terms of goals with 9. The assist leader is defenseman Logan Kirscher with 5 heading into tonight. And backstopping their campaign to this point has been the combination of Nick Serpico and Sean Wolgemuth. Wolgemuth with 5 games played, Serpico with 4, and it is Serpico in between the pipes tonight getting the start for the Bulls. Meanwhile, for Connetquot Sayville, they are led by their Southampton import, Max Goldstein, who has been electric in the goal-scoring department this season. Goldstein with 15 goals in his 6 games played. Those 15, the most in the JV division. Followed somewhat closely behind, but 8 goals in 9 games played for his teammate Milo Maisie. Those two are going to have to be excellent if Connetquot Sayville want to score the upset tonight. In goal for the T-Birds tonight, looks like it's going to be number 3, Matthew Proscia, a defenseman as well, or forward for the T-Birds, gets the nod in goal tonight. See how that works out, and usually, you know, it varies. We'll see how Proscia does. And it's not his first time in between the pipes for this Connetquot Sayville team, as he has made appearances in other divisions. However, it is his JV debut in between the pipes for the T-Birds. as Connor Connetquot looks to establish the zone in the corner. Connetquot trying to work it through the front of the net. There's Goldstein to take it to the blue line for Doyle. Wrist shot from Doyle. Hit a couple of skates in front. Looked like Rupert got in the way of it. Connor Connetquot was in the area as well. Down low, Passerino once more. Has it behind the net. Takes a bump. Maintains possession. Watched carefully by Rupert. Rupert goes down. Play goes on. Passerino along that near side boards, and then eventually it is cleared by the T-Birds for Doyle to try to work it right back in for Smithtown Hauppauge. Rupert first on it on the opposite corner, the far corner that is. Centered by Christian Connetquot. Dribbling puck is ultimately settled by Quinlan Riley, another Southampton player coming over. Played last season on their freshman team. No whistle here. Goldstein expected a whistle, as did I think most of the Bulls and their goaltender Serpico. No whistle came. Serpico plays it on. Nice dangle. It's Anderson. Anderson cuts to the middle. Anderson to the forehand. He scores! What a goal! An absolute thing of beauty by Ryan Anderson. Gets the Bulls up 1-0. Let's talk about plays of the week, which we're going to be giving you guys in between periods. This is a certain candidate to make it onto next week's list. Ryan Anderson dissecting the defense, pulls it to the forehand. A beautiful goal. Saw that absolute beautiful overtime winner last night. I don't know if you did, by William Nylander on the Toronto Maple Leafs. That had some similarities to that goal, albeit Nylander only had to go around one defender. Anderson said, let me go around basically the whole team. 1-0 Bulls on Anderson's 8th of the season, 13th point. Here's Quinlan Riley. And I mentioned Proscia getting the start in net, not your typical goaltender, or not your typical two goaltenders who have started for the T-Birds JV team. I don't know how you expect him to save that. Here's Anderson. Can he do it again? No, he's denied this time by Proscia. Another chance here for the Bulls. It's Connetquot. That's Christian Connetquot. Beneath the goal line. Bulls swarming at the moment. Another shot toward Proscia, sticked away by the T-Bird netman. Knocked out of midair by Christian Connetquot. Checked by Theodolu. Quinlan Riley will try to backhand out. Held in for the moment by Ryan Anderson. Now down the wall, it's Christian Connetquot and Quinlan Riley who prevails with the puck. Banks it ahead for Kuleber. Jackson Kuleber backhands to Giordano. Giordano tries to get around the defender Kersher. Kersher gets knocked down by Giordano, who lost the puck though, and that's more important there for the Bulls, and they clear. Laurel and Goldstein both converge on the puck. It's Goldstein who gets it from his netminder Proscia. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. Lucido ahead for Meyer. Meyer near circle. Wrist shot. Save made by Proscia. Another chance and a blocker save made by Proscia, that time on Power. Getting the chance there for the Bulls. Sean Power. Brother Brendan on the varsity team. Here's Goldstein, 2-on-1. Goldstein, wrist shot, denied by Serpico. His first quality save and test of the night has passed on the JV's leading goal scorer, Max Goldstein. He's wheeling with it once more. Goldstein in with speed, dangles. Goldstein, wrister. Save made by a well-positioned Serpico. Nasta holds in for the moment for Connetquot Sayville, but a good outlet pass to Meyer, and away come the Bulls. Meyer 1v3, wisely decides to dump in. He'll go for a change. Rupert behind his goaltender. Challenged from behind by Dorian, who flicked it just wide on the backhand. 10:17 to go here, first period. 1-0 Smithtown Hauppauge JV. Red of the wrister. Hit Connetquot. Connor in front. Doyle keeps things moving in behind. Costa trying to make a play on it. Connor Connetquot moved it along. He had the golden goal in overtime in the freshman championship game. A stick save made by Proscia. to give them the championship over East Islip. Dorian, cross ice. Connetquot, sharp angle, fought off by Proscia. And Proscia's got it in his glove. 9:42 left here in the first period. 1-0 Bulls. Joined alongside now by Travis Quigley, and that reminds me to remind you to check out the latest episode coming in 2 days from now, Rinks and Realities.
We talk about the Suffolk League.
The Suffolk League. Oh, you'll be talking about the Suffolk League. Oh, awesome. There you go. So tune on in. Rinks and Realities only on LI Sports Network, hosted by Travis Quigley and my other friend Paul Trentini, produced by Wally Mitchell, who's on the cam here tonight. Get the LISN trifecta right there as Doyle holds in along the near wall. Puck does eventually come out. Theodolu lost it to Dorian. Dorian onside are the Bulls. Dorian far circle wide with the shot. Keegan Riley trying to make a play on it, has his pocket picked right out in front. Proscia, the puck is loose. Where is the puck? And it's underneath Proscia and didn't cross the line. So how about that save there from Proscia on the wraparound attempt? Thought he had it. Uh-oh, it's still loose. Where is it? Squeeze the pads. It's underneath me somewhere. Ensuing draw. Comes back to the point. Christian Krikow spins around. Buscarino is there. Buscarino out in front to Christian Krikow. Good defense. Now back for Krikow. He scores! Christian Krikow on the net front feed beats Proscia 5-hole for his 8th of the season. And it's great feed out in front by Buscarino, who's going to pick up the assist here. First attempt doesn't work. He's going to get it right back. And finds Christian Krikow once again for the goal. Right back in come the Bulls with a 2-0 lead. Work down low to Captain Ryan Anderson. Anderson to Christian Krikow. Christian, far circle to the point. For the shot, deflected, kept out initially and put in on the rebound. It's Ryan Buscarino, his 3rd of the season. It'll be his 2nd point of the night after he just picked up an assist. And the Bulls flexing their muscles. 3-0. See the point shot initially. It's going to go, I believe, off the post. Off a little deflection and cleaning up in front. No chance there for Proscia. And we're back here at the South Rink. T-Birds gonna need to clean things up a bit defensively. Again, it's the top team in the league, and they're at full strength. Complete bench there for the Bulls. It's Buscarino from Kirscher and Ryan Anderson. Bulls still have their foot on the gas. It is worked down low. Scrum in the near corner. Comes free. Put out in front, and Proscia the save, and he puts the glove on it to stop play. Funny enough, on the Anderson goal, it's Nick Serpico gets the secondary assist on it. So how about it, Nick Serpico? Not sure if that's his first assist of the season or not. It's harder to find those numbers. There's another save made with the glove there by Proscia. And Brennan Parker picked up an assist as well on that Anderson initial first goal of the game. Power works it forward back toward Proscia. Thought it was underneath him. It came free, but the whistle blew. Stopping play. We'll do it all over again to the right this time of goaltender Proscia. Corcione to take the draw for the Bulls against Goldstein. Comes to Sean Power. Power takes a check. Goldstein off the boards, trying to go to himself. Lucido hustling back is going to beat Goldstein to the puck. No easy feat. And taken over by Smithtown Hauppauge. Sean Power. Stick handling through the neutral zone. Weaves his way over the blue line. Power near circle. Power to the net. Save made Proscia. And he covers up. And that's the thing about the Smithtown JV Red team is it's up and down the lineup. The depth, mind you, this is a split team as well. Just goes to show the sheer amount of quality players coming out of the Smithtown Hauppauge region of Long Island is fruitful. It's no wonder the rinks are set up here in Hauppauge. Sure, that has a little something to do with it, but the pipeline is just so fruitful. You know, not a single player outside of Lucido and Pardini have not recorded a point this year. And now that includes Serpico at least, as he picks up the assist. Meanwhile, here's Dorian around the net. Rejected from in front. Posarina to Doyle. Doyle, wrist shot, hit a stick. Posarina picked it up, fires, and scores. Joseph Posarina picking up goal number 10 of the year. As he's going to get the puck from the point shot, walk to the middle, changes the angle, and sends it back the way it came. And now we've got a timeout taken by Connetquot Sayville. Try to slow things down before they quite get out of hand. Four first period goals by Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red. This is their first meeting of the season between Connetquot Sayville and Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red. And I get the feeling of head coach John Rhee that the T-Birds are better than this, and I agree. And so let's see if the timeout, they hit the reset button. Nasta, who had been playing defense the last couple of games, is on the right wing next to Goldstein, who's centering. Laurel has it. Laurel to Giordano. Parola tried to center Goldstein. It was intercepted by Smithtown Hauppauge's assistant captain Doyle. Now captain Ryan Anderson trying to get around Giordano. Good play by Giordano. Spears it ahead. Parola trying to get a touch. Sweeps it ahead. Nasta giving chase. Doyle will get there first. Doyle bang to Anderson, who deflects along for Avlanitis. Avlanitis pass behind Christian Krikow. Picked up by Buscarino, who shoots wide. Avlanitis picks it up on the other side of the ice. Knocked down by Nasta, but still the puck comes to Ryan Anderson. Anderson has it taken away by Laurel, and now Nasta comes from his wing position to play it. Ahead now, Parola. Parolo, I should say. Bulls clear. Laurel steps up. Anderson poked it by him. Anderson with Doyle and Krickow. Anderson takes the shot and hit the post, I believe. 3-on-1. Anderson just going shot there. Now he'll try to push it out in front to Christian Krickow. Cut off by Goldstein, who plays it to himself, and Max Goldstein engaged in a board battle with Sean Power. Works free to Anderson, who walks, fires off the side of the net. Christian Krickow with it now. Krickow off the back of the net to himself, now out in front and taken away and cleared by Parolo. Nasta trying to take it away from Kersher, does. Nasta walks, tries to get around Brennan Parker, but it's in his skates. Nice defensive play by the Bulls defenseman Parker. It was not held in by Quinlan Riley. It was awfully close. And so we get a stoppage for offsides. 3:35 left here in the first period between the T-Birds and the Bulls here on LI Sports Network. Sure to stay tuned in between periods as we roll out from the previous week the top 10 plays of the week, curated by our team as Meyer splits the D. Meyer is in. Meyer shot it wide. Those are plays 10 through 6. We'll have 5 through 1 at the end of the second. Quinlan Riley making the play on Parker there in the near corner. Parker playing it around. Rupert stepping to it around Corcione. Tapped along for Quinlan Riley, who lifts to center. Kersher knocked it down. Backstopped by Kuliber. Now on the stick of Riley. Quinlan. He'll dump in. Kersher first on it. And Riley will head off for a change. Kersher near boards, past the stick of Meyer. Scherer plays it ahead. Here's Goldstein. Goldstein checked from behind by Kersher. Puck still available. Kuliber trying to get to it. Kuliber and Meyer come together. Meyer escapes Kuliber. Puck rolls by Scherer. And now Rupert comes over to whip it around. Waiting for it, Connor Krickow. Krickow runs in to Rupert. Or maybe it was the other way around and Connor just stood his ground. Fired around by Theodolu, stepping up Dylan Pardini. Theodolu now with it. Tries the outlet to Goldstein. Now puck gets through to Goldstein. Is in. Goldstein denied by the glove of Serpico. Goldstein back with it. Goldstein across. Keegan Riley, a shot sticked away by Serpico. For another try and a save made by the left pad of Nick Serpico. This time on Kuliber. So we get another look at that Goldstein save. Not easy. Stopping the league leader in goals on a breakaway, Max Goldstein, and Serpico makes it look relatively easy. Not falling for the bait of the fake shot. Goldstein with it once more. Goldstein behind the net in Gretzky's office. Goldstein comes out along the near side. Brussy trying to play it, keep it in, does, but right onto the stick of Doyle, who skates out for Smithtown. Hauppauge stretch pass just out of the reach of Connor Krickow. Will be an icing on Smithtown Hauppauge with 1 minute and 9 seconds left here in the first period. It's been all Bulls to this point. They lead 4-0 over Connetquot Sayville right here on the LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan, our producer Magnus Healy, cameraman Wally Mitchell. Over on the north rink, it's Travis Quigley on the call. Panasonic Paul and Gabe Curry in the house, giving you social media updates. Where can you find those? At LI Sports Network. Highly recommend our stories for staying up to date on any of the highlights around the games here tonight and in the future. Posarina dances on in, backhands across and cut off by Laurel. To the blue line, Doyle, wrister blocked by Parolo. And now Goldstein collects and skates out. Goldstein picking up speed through the neutral zone. Cuts in. Goldstein. Great play by Doyle. Puts an end to the Goldstein rush in one quick poke check. Avlonidis scoops up the loose puck along the far boards. Spins away from trouble. And outlets to Posarina. Time and space for Posarina. Costa calling for Posarina. He scores! Ripped it by glove side of Parosha. It's 5-0 Smithtown Hauppauge. Posarina's second of the night. As we get another look at it, Posarina's going to cut across. There's Doyle calling for it. That's all right. I'll get you next time. So I'm going to rip it by him. And that's how we conclude period number 1. Dominance from Smithtown Hauppauge. And we're going to hop right into the top 10 plays of last week. Here is play number 10.
McMahon flips it up the boards. They shoot. They score.
And right now that team's been the Friars. So if the Cougars want to pull off an upset, that means possession. That shot, they score!
Back and forth he goes, dangling the puck. As now Minardi has it. Minardi will take it through the slot, stop short. Back up top to the blue line, send it back down low. Rebounded, out in front, Minardi with it now. 360 with a pad save.
At least 6 or 7, if not more, shots. Here's Scotty, odd man rush, 2-on-1 developing. Scotty scores!
And now it's going to be a chance here. Breakaway. Panicia to the backhand. He scores!
Welcome back to the rinks in Hauppauge. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. 5-0 Bulls at the end of 1. We saw top 10 plays 10 through 6. Posarina 2 goals to close out the period. Logan Kirscher picking up the assist on the most recent. Neil Doyle, the one prior. Buscarino, Critkow, Ryan Anderson, the other goal scorers. As it was a 3-point period. For... Am I mistaken? Hold on. Thought it. No Bull has 3 points. My apologies. But 2 points for Kirscher, 2 assists. Goal and assist for Buscarino. Goal and assist for Brennan Parker. Goal and assist for Ryan Anderson. Following the timeout, after it was 4-0 Bulls, you have an offside here. The T-Birds did have some better play, and they did have some scoring chances. Serpico had to make a couple of nice saves in that first frame. Breakaway for Goldstein and a rebound attempt in front. Kuliber had that chance. But the Bulls have flexed their muscles tonight. Parolo trying to get one through. It's blocked, and now Buscarino across for Anderson as Christian Critkow streaking to the net. Anderson will get it to him, and a save made by Parosha. You know, for the team's third-string goaltender and usual defenseman forward, Parosha coming up big with the save there. He did save that. Yes, he did. He got it. Yep. Face off to the right of Parosha. That's a very impressive save for someone who's not a trained goaltender. As Ryan Anderson did all he could to set up Christian Critkow, and another save made by Parosha. Clearing attempt up the middle, big no-no, and Sean Power ripped it wide, bailing out Connetquot Sayville for now. Pushed down the wall. Laurel trying to clear. Held in by Lucido, who sent it wide. Pardini keeps in at the left point. Power centers. Myers shot partially blocked. Laurel getting in the way of it. I think Laurel's had himself a good game defensively, despite all things considered. Pardini is denied by Proscia. Another save made by Proscia. Back out in front. Corcione wide with the shot. Pardini tries to hold in. On that left point, it's flipped to center. The puck sputtering, and it will have enough. No, it will not. Icing waved off. Kuhleber gives Lucido a bump as Sean Power makes his way up ice. Shot off the skate of Giordano. Around for Theodolu, high off the glass, right to the line where the battle ensues and eventually comes out of the zone. Lucido trying to go right back in for the Bulls. Down the near wall. Drop for Power. Sean Power. Checked by Kuhleber. Ripped around by Giordano and escapes the zone. Avlanitis hops to it. Matthew Proscia. One of the stories in the game thus far. Absolutely here for Connetquot Sayville. Dragging Connor Krikow. Giordano gets to him. Poked away, but here's Doyle. Slow to get on into the play is Quinlan Riley. Late change there for the T-Birds. That shot off the post. The rebound is in. Connor Krikow doing work out in front. Gets the good positioning and taps it in on the rebound to make it 6-0 in favor of Smithtown Hauppauge. Connor Krikow, 7th of the season. And overall point number 11. They keep coming. It's underneath Proscia, no goal. And we'll see what the pushback from Connetquot Sayville looks like. This would be the first round matchup if the playoffs were to have started today, between the number 1 team in the standing, Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red, and Connetquot Sayville. Avlanitis has the puck come over his stick. He'll take it back into center. Wristed ahead for Krikow, who taps it along. Brussy, I should say, trying to get it out of the zone. Dorian there. Comes down the left wing side. Dorian handed it back to Posarina. Got checked off the puck by Nasta. That springs Quinlan Riley forward. Riley dumps in, harassed by Doyle. Avlanitis on the puck. Spins away from Riley. Nasta joins in on the forecheck. Avlanitis eventually does get to the puck first. He'll make his way up ice. Pass behind Posarina. Twirls with it. Able to collect and bring it in. Surviving the stick check of Nasta. Posarina in behind. Backhands across. And Connor Krikow just able to get a stick on it with the backhand. Collects. Far circle shot over the net. Along that right wing side. Doyle pinching in near side. Posarina try to go down low. Brussy got in the way of it. Posarina prevails. Does go down low to Caden Dorian, who, a sharp angle try, hit the mask of Proscia. Sent up the boards, held in by Kirscher. Spun it down to Connor Krikow. Connor across with it. Keegan Riley temporarily getting in the way of it, and brother Quinlan could not get it away from Posarina, who fires wide, looking for the hat trick. Kirscher try to play it down low, intercepted and cleared by Brussy, who is perfectly fine with the icing call, as Connetquot Sayville desperately needed a change. They'll get that here. With 10:28 to go in the second. Listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. It's all Smithtown Hauppauge to this point. Face off to the right of Proscia. One in the defensive end by Goldstein. Parola out for Goldstein, who takes over. Goldstein trying to get around the stick checks of Kirscher. Great job by Kirscher. Parolo, good support on Goldstein, but eventually the puck comes away from him now to Ryan Anderson, who walks. Ryan Anderson on the backhand scores. Another beautiful goal scored by Ryan Anderson, his second tonight. And the extra point is good. 7-0 Smithtown Hauppauge. As Ryan Anderson, I think this will be an unassisted goal. This is just another beautiful goal. Shows off the speed and skill. Going to take it to the backhand and go upstairs. And let me tell you from experience, it's not easy to get that much under the puck on the backhand in that close and tight. And Ryan Anderson just made it look pretty easy. And that's coming from someone who played defense, though, so we'll note that as Giordano sends in. Parolo on the forecheck. Kuliber there as well. Buscarino comes out of the scrum with the puck. Tries to backhand ahead, getting over Jake Laurel. Goldstein to himself. Drags, fires, blocked by Kirscher. And these Bulls defenders have done such a good job of neutralizing the speed and skill of Max Goldstein, who in his own right provides much of the offense for Connetquot Sayville, just strictly from a point standpoint and goal scoring standpoint. And they have really kept him in check tonight. Parolo, right wing side, back to Kuliber. Wrister, not sure if that deflected or Serpico got a piece of it, but good shot either way there from Kuliber. Goldstein in the spin cycle, comes to Parolo. Parolo trying to go back door to Kuliber, just missed. Kuliber down the wall to Parolo. Goldstein to make a change. Comes to Ryan Anderson. Anderson drags Anderson, shot! And that highlight reel goal is stopped. Would-be highlight reel goal there for Anderson, denied by Proscia, who, if it had not been for him, the score would be worse. It's fascinating, isn't it? And that's the third string goaltender here for the T-Birds. Showing why he's got the A on his jersey. He's turned in quite an assistant, associate, whatever you will, captain performance. Pardini holds in at the near point. Down the boards, Meyer and Rupert together. Theodolu gets to it, tries to clear, and it does get by Dylan Pardini. Pardini and Lucido play catch at the Bulls' blue line. Now ahead for Sean Power. Power's drop pass. Theodolu gets there first, and now Nasta, and now there's a broken stick. Oh, shot on, denied by Proscia. Pardini. Taken back by Power. Poke check from Quinlan Riley allows the puck now to come to Corcione. Corcione to Meyer. Back for Corcione to the defense to Pardini, shot wide. Lucido, a drive, he scores! Beautiful shot. Taken and scored by Alexander Lucido. And I mentioned Lucido at the top as one of the two Bulls who don't have a point thus far in the year. Well, that just changed as Lucido registers his first goal of the year. A beautiful shot that went under the bar, over the shoulder, short side on Proscia. Corcione and Posarina getting assists on the Lucido goal. So 3-point night for Ryan Anderson. As a shot from Caden Dorian is denied. Another shot. This one from Doyle never got through, and wrist shot from Doyle blocked by Keegan Riley. Here's Quinlan. Try to lead Goldstein or Nasta, not sure. But it's taken over by the Bulls and Connor Krickow. Krickow to Posarina. Posarina taken away by Brussy. Leads Goldstein. Goldstein around Avlanitis into the near corner. To my right, Goldstein. To Quinlan Riley out in front. Backhand shot. They stopped by Serpico in the glove. That just vanished in his glove. With 6 minutes left here in the second, 8-0 Bulls over the T-Birds here on the South Rink. And want to thank you all so much for tuning in to LI Sports Network's coverage of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Ryan Brownigan, producer Magnus Healy, and cameraman Wally Mitchell. That shot deflected off the faceoff. Another save made by Serpico. And thrown back out in front, and Serpico's got the blocker underneath it to cover up. It's not been a total onslaught from the Bulls. Serpico has been needed to be sharp and has. Face-off win by Connetquot Sayville in the offensive zone. They can't quite get it toward the net, and skated free by Buscarino. Buscarino in with speed. Centers. And it was looking for Christian Krickow. Tries to pick it up on the other side. Far side of the ice. Costa holds in. Costa down the wall. Buscarino. Buscarino down low. Give and go. And just out of the reach of Buscarino. Good stick check provided. Not sure if it was Rupert or Laurel. Might have been Polidoro. Meanwhile, between the legs, Christian Krickow. Are you kidding me? It's the 9th goal of the game, but look at Christian. Little Marek Malik action there. That's an old reference. If there are younger kids listening, you don't get it. He was a Rangers defenseman. It's actually my first hockey memory, if I'm being honest, on television. Watching Marek Malik go between his legs in the shootout against the Capitals as Proscia makes another save. So Christian Krickow from Logan Kersher, the 9th of the night for the Bulls. It's Christian's 2nd of the game and his 9th of the season. So 9s are wild. Just don't tell that to J.J. McCarthy. As puck gets by Pardini, hustles quickly after Quinlan Riley. Hustling after it. Navigating around the incoming forecheck is Sean Power, and Sean has it in the far circle. His wrist shot over the net. Dylan Pardini pinching in, holding in. Toward the front of the net, here's Goldstein. Max Goldstein. Going to keep his goal streak going. Goes to the far circle. Shot into the chest of Serpico, who covers it. 3:53 left here in the second period. I want to remind you, top 5 plays of the week coming up at the conclusion of this period, in between periods. And look forward to next week where we'll have hopefully the same thing. I think we absolutely will. Week 2 of the top 10 plays of the week as that shot ends up in the glove of Serpico. Brussi trying to go in front to Nasta. Theodolu onto the loose puck. And now Connor Krikow chips it ahead for Posarina. Dorian back to Posarina. Avlanidis across to Doyle, wrist shot. And another early whistle after Proscia made the initial stop. Face-off one back to the point by Smithtown Hauppauge. Here's Avlanidis. That wrist shot wide. Doyle. Posarina. Try to go to Avlanidis. Nice play by Nasta. And now Nasta trying to get around Avlanidis. He does, but couldn't get back on the puck. Doyle came over and intervened. Now Neil Doyle will send it ahead. Good forecheck here from Dorian on Giordano. Giordano sends around. Taken over by Neil Doyle for Dorian. One-time blast from Connor Krikow right off the shin guards of Theodolu. Gutsy block from the Thunderbird forward, and now Kuleber harassing Avlanidis forces the turnover. Nasta couldn't pull it around Krikow. Centering try for Theodolu, intercepted. And so Neil Doyle will flick it on back to Avlanidis. Couple of saves made, rebound, no! Kuleber denied. Great stops there from Serpico. Goldstein. Taken away by Posarina. Theodolu knocked it off Posarina's stick, right onto the stick of Avlanidis. Spins away from the incoming Theodolu, off a skate. Doyle with it, goes on across to Avlanidis. Christian Krikow, another crispy breakout here for Smithtown Hauppauge. Spinning is Christian. Round the net goes Christian Krikow, and finally the T-Birds can gain control. It's Giordano. Lead pass Parolo. Parolo, nice move. Parolo on the backhand. Parolo forehand. Stopped by the blocker on the side of the net there by Serpico. Comes out in front and unable to get a stick to it. Giordano comes out of the zone. Good play by Kirscher. Connor Krikow trying to keep things moving into the O-zone. Gets around Giordano. Goes across, and brother Christian wasn't expecting it from Connor. Now Parolo. Kirscher bearing down on him. Kirscher gets back and takes down Parolo. Cleanly, that is. No call, as there shouldn't have been. Great play by Logan Kirscher. As we come to an end here in the second period, it is 9-0 in favor of Smithtown Hauppauge over Connetquot Sayville. And without further ado, top 10 plays of the week, numbers 6 through 1. To Nasta. Nasta around light. Into the zone, Nasta. Another move. Stays with it. Nasta scores! Tie!
The wheel. Fisher. McMahon flips it up the boards. He scores!
Welcome back to the Rinks and Hauppauge. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan, to my left Magnus Healy, to my right Wally Mitchell. 9-0 Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red over Connetquot Sayville. But good news for you T-Birds fans as I check in on the north side of the rink. Yo, what up, Gabe? 5-0 Connetquot Sayville varsity over Pat Med. Varsity there on the north side. Check that game out as well here on LI Sports Network, as I'm sure some of you are. T-Birds varsity team currently in 8th place as well with a 3-6 record. They look to improve to 4-6, and that'll see them leapfrog Ward Melville for 7th place in the standings in the varsity division. Trying to build on a performance here, or just get something positive out of tonight, are the T-Birds as they find themselves down 9. Here's a good example of that. Nasta and Lucido. Nasta hits the brakes, spins away from Lucido, try to go across the Kuliber, hit a stick. Nasta back with it. He's got to hurry it up, and he has it taken away by Christian Krickow, who leads Ryan Anderson. Ryan, a little flip into the glove of Proscia, who keeps things moving. And mind you, he's not a... you see it there. I mean, he has done his best to fool some of you watching potentially and thinking that he is not a goaltender his whole life. I mean, he isn't. He's a forward. He's a defenseman playing goaltender tonight, and I think he's done a fabulous job in an emergency circumstance. But you see it there, though. Trying to play the puck. Frankly, I'm not sure what I would have done either. I know for a fact I couldn't get into the butterfly position. Magnus, can you sit butterfly? Yeah, you can sit butterfly, you cross your legs and stuff like that. I can't do that. I can't. I cannot sit crisscross applesauce. I know it's a problem. I should probably go to like PT or something like that, but I've gotten this far without it. So I know I'd be a disaster of a goaltender with the butterfly is not only a option, it's sort of a mandate. And I'd be like one of those 80s goalies just standing up, refusing to go down, like no matter what. Here's Meyer. Hands back to Sean Power. Goldstein takes it away. Keegan Riley goes down into the boards, back with Brendan Power, and Keegan Riley flicks to center on the stick of Neil Doyle, who I was looking up. I swear I thought Doyle played for St. A's, but I'm not sure. Last year, I could be wrong about that. I was trying to look that up. And played for St. A's a season ago, that is. Can't say I'm positive on that one. Brendan Parker, I know he played for the freshman champion Smithtown JV Red, who have their sights set on repeating, kind of. Obviously, you can only play in the freshman division typically once. Some play on freshmen who are under the age of freshmen. You can't obviously play once you're older. So since so much of that group coming and returning here, seeing if they can win another championship as a group for the most part. Puck sputters down ice. Serpico stops it. Tries to play around for Kirscher, who's had a great night defensively for Smithtown Hauppauge. Able to outmaneuver a couple of forechecking Thunderbirds there. Brennan Parker now with it. That play is offsides, and there's the stoppage. Offsides like that Rangers goal last night. I don't know how many of you stayed up to watch that game like I did. Oh, it could have been. I mean, it was an obvious offsides. Christian lets one fly from the dot outside the zone, high and wide of Proscia. Buscarino avoiding a hit from Scherer. Kuliber on it. Backhanding to the blue line. Pardini steps up, takes a hit from Kuliber. So Jackson Kuliber is someone who, despite the score, still giving it his all. Banked across for Nasta. Nasta and Lucido come together. Lucido, who scored his first of the season earlier in the game. By the way, congratulations to Bowden Rudloff on I forgot to mention this. Bowden Rudloff, the first ever first place Play of the Week recipient on OI Sports Network. Ryan Anderson, I have a feeling he's going to make the list. I think he very well might on his goal earlier in the game. One of his two. Another storyline to watch is if Smithtown Hauppauge can keep Maxwell Goldstein, or Max Goldstein, I should say, off the goal scoring column. He's been on quite a goal streak heading into tonight. Doyle. Cross to Avlanides. Back to Doyle. And tipped on ahead by Corcione. On goal to Proscia, who keeps it moving to Giordano. Meyer on over there, and Sean Power content to hand it back to his defenseman. 8 minutes and 21 seconds now and counting left in the regulation, and I will boldly say the game. Giordano, nice little dangle, but couldn't get around the supporting Meyer. Doyle will just flick it right back in. Laurel. Try to bank one to Nasta. Avlanides steps up. Power. Skates away from Quinlan Riley. Here's Parolo, one of the more prominent T-Birds here tonight. Dorian now with it. Brennan Parker. Nice little pass to Connor Critkow, who backhands wide. Kersher. Sauce to Parker. There's the Bulls doing their thing, whipping it around the net, around the goal, around the zone, and killing off the remaining 6 minutes and 40 plus seconds, or now less than that, of this third period. It's been a clinic. Parolo skates after it, well timed in the zone onside, ushered across the net. Serpico gets the stick in. Giordano had it for a moment, lost it. Now Caden Dorian banks out in front. Laurel steers it away from the front of his netminder. Christian Critkow. Their other sibling, Charlie Critkow, member of the varsity team. As I mentioned earlier, they had their first loss handed to them on Monday night. Game called by my friend and colleague Brady Campbell. If you missed it, you could still find the replay of the game as Pardini made a rush to the net. Remember, he does not have a point yet in this season thus far. The only Bulls member without one. But known for his defense. He's, I'm sure, okay with that. Especially considering that they're going to improve to 9-0-1 on the year in a little over 5 minutes time. Pardini, he's on the board. First of the year, Dylan Pardini. Bulls hit double digits. 10-0. And that concludes that narrative. All Bulls on the roster have a point and a goal for that matter, with Alexander Lucido scoring earlier in the second period. And now Dylan Pardini, Christian Krikow, and Avlanitis get assists on the goal. Three assists for Kircher tonight. Avlanitis gets on the board in this game. He had not recorded a point prior to that. Fired wide. Bulls still hungry for more. Pardini loads up, fires, blocked in front. Pardon me, that was Sean Power. 43, not 13, and Power wants it back. He's trying to show off the power. Blocked by Theodolu. Second fearless block by number 28 in red and black. And orange and white, I suppose. Little gathering behind the net. Gonna be a little gathering in what, about a week's time, Magnus, for Thanksgiving? And Maxwell Goldstein. Max nearly got on the board there. Great stick lift by Quinlan Riley. Can Connetquot Sayville get on the board? Interrupting my Thanksgiving talk here with Magnus. How dare they? No, I'm kidding. Goldstein. Again, he's got a goal streak to try to extend. Nearly did it there. Serpico had other ideas. 2:34 to go. Rupert around Dorian. Rupert makes his way up ice. Hits the brakes to avoid a collision with Connor Krikow, and now Parolo will send it down low. Kircher there. Kircher and his 3 assists. Play it ahead now. Brennan Parker in with speed goes Brennan. Brennan finds Connor Krikow, and Krikow flicks it wide. Kircher back on it in the neutral zone with 2 minutes to play in the third period. Can Goldstein get a goal? Can Connetquot Sayville get a goal? Goldstein trying to work his way around Parker. Parker, good defense. Goldstein again. Thwarted in the corner, helped out by Quinlan Riley. Puck toward the front of the net. Steered out of harm's way by Connor Krikow. Brendan Parker. Dorian, and Dorian across to Connor. Connor rips one off the shaft of the stick of Scherer. Shocked it didn't snap it, honestly. Puck in the high slot up for grabs, and Christian Krikow says, I'll be having that. Fires one in the neutral zone into the glove of Proscia, who keeps things moving to the surprise of Scherer. And now Goldstein takes it away from Christian Krikow. He's still got juice in the tank. But a well-positioned defensive unit for Smithtown Hauppauge has really put a damper on the explosiveness of Max Goldstein here tonight. Parolo chases after. Parolo doesn't get there in time. Serpico there, and he'll keep things moving. Christian Krikow skating away. Takes the shot. Missed it high and wide. 30 to play. Big hit there on Pardini. Dished out by Kuliber. I mean, he's been laying the hammer here tonight for the T-Birds. All in which in clean fashion. Speaking of clean fashion, we have not had a penalty in this game. I don't know how many games played in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League have gone wire to wire with no penalties, but this is one of them. Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red put on a show. They win it 10-0. Valiant effort in net and getting all the fist bumps and head pats a goaltender could ask for, and that's Matthew Proscia. He was honestly quite formidable in between the pipes as a forward/defenseman for the T-Birds. He gets the loss, but can hold his head high as the T-Birds are shut out by a steamrolling Smithtown Hauppauge JV Red unit that improved to 9-0-1 on the year. They're in first place, and they're showing why here on a Wednesday evening at the rinks in Hauppauge. That'll do it for our coverage in this one. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. On behalf of Magnus Healy and our cameraman Wally Mitchell, I'm Ryan Brannigan saying so long. Till next time, and as always, have a good night.